Welcome to the Scbookgal and Friends Chat. We're going to be talking about the latest in book reviews, author interviews, and life. Come on in and join us. We're ready. Are you? Hey everyone, this is your girl Scbookgal 843. And guess what, you guys? I got an author interview. I think it's the first one I've done this year. That's a children's book. Y'all, how many of y'all call y'all nephews and nieces peanut heads? I have three nephews, a guy, and I call all of them little peanut heads. So when I saw the title of this book, it made me think of my nephews. Sorry, King, TL, and Eric. Auntie love y'all. It's better I'm calling y'all peanut heads than water heads, right? Okay. So you guys, I'm going to introduce you to a new author who is joining us here at SC Bookgal and Friends for a chat. Let's come on up, bring her up, bring her up. Hey, Miss Dorsey.
Hi.
How are
Hello.
you?
How are you?
I am good, girly. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm glad to be here. I am super excited, as you already know.
Listen, I am honored to have you here because we're going to
Oh,
talk
thank
about
you.
it's TJ and Peanut, right?
Yes. Little Peanut and TJ.
That just sounds like two little kids who you know they're gonna be up to some stuff. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
And they are.
They are. So before we go any further, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a 54-year-old mother of a 7-year-old little boy. I am a family
Whoa, whoa,
advocate by
whoa, whoa.
trade.
You gotta stop. Girl, you do not look no 54. Don't
Yes, yes, yes. I birthed him at 46, my son. I did. And so that's the inspiration behind the book, but we'll get into that. I don't want to, tell too much too soon. But I'm a family advocate by trade. Last year around about this time, I started venturing into acting, and that led to modeling, and that led to emceeing, that led to radio personality, and I'm telling you, it's just been like it this has been a welcoming, exciting journey for me. And so I think that every day God opens up more. I learn more about me. He opens up, he pulls back another layer, so to speak. And so this is the most that I have done my entire life. I'm always busy, I'm always doing something. And the good thing about it is my son gets to travel with me. So he has been on some of the sets that I have been on, and so he's trained to sit there and to be quiet. As long as he's on my phone, he's good. And so I have enjoyed this last year. And so on top of all those things, as I'm an authoress. And so maybe within the next month, the second book will come out. So we'll be connecting again. And it's an adult book. Adult meaning it's just for adults. It's about lies, scandal, sex in the church. And so I can't wait for that to hit the shelves, the bookshelves, because I honestly believe that one is going to do better than the children's book, because we like some drama. And nowadays you find in drama, the most drama is, unfortunately, it's being found in the church.
in the
And
church.
so, yeah, it's based off of things that some people that I know have gone through, some experiences that I have had. And it's just the truth about church. And so I've found myself starting to write the second part of that book, the second, I guess you would say, like, not really a sequel, but just starting on the second, like book number two. It's called From Innocence to Lust. So I haven't really given this one a name yet, the second book. But yeah, so I enjoy writing, and I write once a month, as I was saying, for Pretty Women Hustle magazine. So I get the pleasure to vent and to pour out once a month in the form of writing. So I have a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good. I mean, it's busy for me, but it's a good busy, if I
How
can
do
say it
you
like that.
rest? When do you rest, girl?
Um, I do. Well, you know what? To be quite honest, I do get enough rest, but it's just that once my feet hit the floor now, like I'm always doing something. And it was a period of time a few months ago that I was doing something like almost every weekend. I was doing something, but I have enjoyed every single moment of it. And one thing that God revealed to me during this time is that I am an inspiration to women, women and men, but primarily women, to let them know God is not concerned about our age. God is concerned about seasons. And when it's
Yes.
your season, I am a witness, a living witness, that when it is your season, doors are going to open back to back to back to back to back. And you'll think, well, am I supposed to be doing all this stuff? Well, then say to yourself, well, what have you been doing before now? And then you'll think, nothing. Well, it's your season to do something. And so it hasn't fulfilled me, but then in a way it has. I've enjoyed all of it. I have.
It sounds like your plate is full, your cup runneth over, but you
Yes.
just sitting up there saying, God, I thank you. This is the
Yes.
blessings that you gave me.
Yes.
You knew when you knew what you were leading up to. So I had my periods of rest then. But now,
Yes. Yes.
hey, the fire is
Yeah.
hot. You got me going. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and do the work that you have called me to do. I
Yeah.
totally understand,
Yes.
boo. I
And
totally
that's
understand.
yeah, and that's one of the things that God revealed to me maybe last year. Um he said, you haven't really been doing anything up until now. And so everything that you're doing now, you're supposed to be doing it. Because what are you going to do? Sit around and wait another 10 years and wait for things? I've learned that it really don't take God that long to speak. It's just that we're slow to hearing. And when God answers our prayer, we second guess him by saying, well, I don't know if it's God. Well, I mean, you've been praying for what, 20 years, 15 years? When do you think God, not to put a time frame on God, but sometimes we just make God, just a second conversation, or we put him on the back burner, and we constantly deny him when he's right in front of us. And I knew all of these opportunities, I knew it was him, because the fruit behind it spoke volumes. And what I mean by that is, these different sets that I have been on, me and my son, I've been God has given me an awesome opportunity to minister to people. And sometimes ministering is not always with a Bible or behind a pulpit. Ministering
Right.
to a person can be just me meeting someone on a set and striking up a conversation, and they start telling me something that happened on their job. And I can just simply say to them, hey, I went through the same thing last year, but God is able. You know what I mean? You
You
know,
are
we think
so
ministry only takes place at church. We think we can only be helped at church. It's not in the church. We say it all the time. It's not in the church, it's
not in.
outside the church. And so,
Listen,
even in this film industry, I have been able to minister to people. And that's where I get my greatest fulfillment. Everything else is going to come. If I just do the work that God has sent me to do, everything else is going to come later. So I've enjoyed everything that I've done, the writing, being able to take my son with me. Um, it's just been very enjoyable. It really has.
And you know what? You said so much to, and one of the things that sticks out to me is the fact that it's not always in the church. Okay. I
Hmm.
have a 23-year-old son who has a Discord channel where they pray and they read the Bible and they play video games. They sitting up there playing 2K and preaching the word to each other.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like, he did say go to the highways and the byways,
yeah,
but why? Like
yeah,
what the? And that's how I can do is look at my son like, yo, what?
yeah,
And I see that, we gotta go where they are, you know.
yeah,
And what you're doing, and talking to them when they come to you, if you're on the set, or maybe if you're at an office signing, you giving them that time and witnessing to them and taking that knowledge that God is giving you and the stuff that God is implanting you and blessing them with some words. You just don't know how you would
yes,
minister to somebody in that
yeah, yeah.
quick of a time.
And you know what? The reason why I know that this time in my life is God ordained is because I've always been a recluse. I've always been the individual who I don't have to have a lot of people around me. I don't always have to be going somewhere and doing something. I'm content with coming home, you know, getting my bath, getting my sun bathed, we get something to eat and we watch TV. He runs around the house or, plays his game. I've always been content with that, going to church and going to work and come home. But, God spoke to me last year. He said, how are you going to minister to people? How are you going to make these new relationships and create these bonds if you're doing it on the sofa? He said, you can't. He said, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to have to get up and go. And I've always been the type of person that I don't drive a lot, especially long distance, journey or trip. And
Mhm.
so most of the sets that I'm on is either in Houston or Dallas. So I'm right in between both. And so being that I never was a driver like that, God really took me out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, who's going to drive me? And so my sister lives in Houston. I'm Sissy Pooh, she's Sissy Doo. And so I call her and I say, hey, I'm going to start doing XYZ. Can you drive for me? And she was like, no, ma'am. She said, you're going to get your GPS. She said, you're going to get up. If you have to be there at 3, you leave 30 minutes earlier than the normal person would. And you give yourself time in case you get lost. She said, you're going to do it on your own. She said, because what if you didn't have me to ask? She said, would you
Mm.
put your dreams on the shelf? And my answer was no, because I was gonna be on this lady's talk show. She started a talk show. It's called the Goldie Drake Show, and it's up by Dallas. And so I had gotten used to Houston, but Dallas, that was a horse of a different color. I'm like, I don't know Dallas like that. My sister lives in Houston, and so um, I had asked my husband to drive me, and so we talked about it several times, but he has his job and he has stuff he has to do. And then he had a surgery that was coming up. And so, in between all of that, he said, I can't take you. Oh, my heart was broken. I
Oh,
was
oh,
devastated. I'm telling you, I called my sissy dude and I cried like a baby. And she's tougher than me. And like, I'm the suburbs sister, and she's the down in the hood sister. And so she said, dry your face up. She said, get yourself together. She said, you're going to drive yourself. She said, no, ma'am, I'm not driving you. She said, you're going to drive yourself. And I braced myself. I got the address. I put it in GPS. From that moment to the day, I prayed. When I tell you I didn't get lost, when I tell you it was a fun trip. It was an eventful trip. I made the interview. I was on her talk show. I was her first guest. And I did not want to miss that because that was such an honor for her to reach out to me and say, I would like for you to be my first guest. So that was like something that was on my heart to do. And I am telling you, I am so thankful to God because he did it. He allowed it, and he let me know, see, you don't have to have what you think you need because I'm all you need. So I'm telling you, that gave me such a, I was like, ain't nobody gonna tell me what I can't do. And so
Okay.
I thank God that he puts people in place to give you those words of encouragement when you need them. Because, had she not been in my life or we had a good relationship, because some siblings don't, I would have fumbled the blessing. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was another word that God gave me last year when all of this started. He said, don't fumble the blessing, don't fumble it. And that he told me that means that I can't fumble the blessing. And so, again, I have had so much fun. I've made so many new relationships and new friends, and such as yourself, you know and I wouldn't trade anything for it. I would not.
So let's talk about this book. Y'all, I'm about to bring the book up. This is the cutest little book, you guys. Look at this cover. Look at that, you guys. Ain't that the cutest? The Adventures of Little Peanut and TJ. So, what brought this book along? What was why Little Peanut and TJ?
Well, when I was carrying my son Trent, my sissy do, while he was in the womb, she started calling him Little Peanut. And so when she would see me, she would come up to my stomach and she would say, hi, Auntie Glam's Little Peanut, because she's Auntie Glam. And so she would talk to him and call him Little Peanut while he was in my womb. And so when I decided to write the book, I said, Little Peanut and TJ. TJ is my stillbirth that my husband and I had. And so I was only able to carry him to 5 months, and we had him cremated. And so that's who TJ is. And so the book is it's a book that God allowed me to write that turned my misery into something that was happy and joyful, because the book is about receiving your joy and your peace when God presents it to you. And so that's just a little bit about how, the book, you know, came to pass.
When you got that copy of your book in your hand, it's like you're birthing a new baby. How did you
Yes.
feel when you first had your copy of it?
I didn't think that. I thought to myself, I said, well, the publishing company did a wonderful job. I didn't expect it to be, a hardcover, because it's a hardcover. Once I got past that, I got into the emotional part of it. And when I just, when I went through it and I read it, the characters are named after some of my family members, because I like to try to impart my family into whatever I'm doing. And so when I read it, it was like, this was once a seed that has flourished. And so that God allowed me to get that done. It just let me know that he can do it again. And it inspired me to start writing, from innocence to lust. And my husband and I actually wrote that together. Just the idea came, we were driving down the highway to Dallas, and I was reading a book because at the time my goal was to read a book a month. And so I was
Okay.
reading a book, and it was about church, our church. And I said, you know what? I said, I think we can write a book. And so I just got a notebook and I started writing, and he would give me his ideas. And, we just kind of, had a little collaboration happening. And so now it should be completely done, I would say, within about a month. And I've already started on book number 2 that follows from innocence to lust. And so, I just, I've always been a paper and pencil carrying books around when I was in elementary school and going to the
Mhm.
library. But even way back then, those were seeds. Those were seeds that are now, they're blooming. It's coming up, and everything is beautiful because it's in God's season. So it's not going to be anything else but beautiful. So, again, I'm honored. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. But the one thing that I have to be able to move past is my age. I keep saying, why didn't I do this when I was in my 30s? Why is this happening in my 50s? And I think I have to get caught up. Like, I feel like I have to always, be getting caught up, to catch up with. And, God always reminds me, it's not about your timing and season, it's about my timing and season.
There you
Sit
go.
back, relax, enjoy where I have you. Enjoy the now, because you can't go back. And this is what God is saying to me as I just sit here. He said, you can't go back and redeem the time, but I can. So you
And
just enjoy where you are now, and you let me redeem the time. That's my responsibility. Your responsibility is just to do what I put in front of you.
because he's saying that you weren't ready right then. That it was
Yeah.
not ready right then. When you're baking the cake, that cake smell good now, but you can't take it out because it's not ready. So you weren't
Yeah.
ready at that point in time. He said,
Yeah.
"No, you ain't ready. I need to let you cook a little bit more. No, you
Yeah.
ain't ready. I need to let you cook a little bit more." Then he said, "You are perfect right now. Come on out that oven."
Yeah.
And that's when everything comes into flourish. You-
Yeah.
God is funny now. God
Has some
is fun.
sense of humor.
I think God is a pure comedy. Oh my God, I think He is. Especially with the king up to Adam and Eve, and when things started, I know He's sitting
Yeah.
up here looking at you I know He was sitting up there like they acting like I can't see it. Look at these two here. Man, Father, look at these two. What we gonna do with them? I know they sitting up there having a whole ball of everything that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back.
So when before we let you go, how can we get your book? How can we follow you so we can be able to be there when that next book come out? Because I'm ready for that.
Yes.
That's my type of
Um,
book.
well, you can get The Adventures of Little Peanut and TJ on Amazon. But then I have a website. It is Keisha, that's KEYCHA dot design VATION.com. So it's Keisha, KEYCHA dot designvation, VATION.com. And then I'm on Facebook. It's Visions, VISIONS Unlimited, UNLMTD. Visions Unlimited is on Facebook. And then Instagram is Inspiration $49.91. Yeah.
So you guys, you know what's going to happen, right? When we have the replay of this, we'll have all this information in the caption box so you can go ahead and follow her. I
Yes.
always tell readers the best way to support an author is to follow them. And you know what? They need encouraging along their journey too. So when you get your copy of The Vengeance of Little Peanut and TJ, even if you're getting it for yourself or the little persons in your life, go ahead, send her a line, take a picture, be like, look, I got my copy.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of my readers have done that. Like when they get it, they take a picture and they send it to me and I post it on Facebook. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. Well, I thank you for joining me tonight. You done put so many nuggets out there that y'all need to go ahead and catch the replay. I know we all look at things once, but go ahead and catch this again because I know that something she said was said and it's directed towards you to bless
Yes.
you on the journey that you need to go on.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. It is an honor. I am honored and I am humbled. I am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, you guys, y'all